So Piers Morgan has a show called Uncensored, and he brings on guests. He talks about topics. He's very opinionated. We all know Piers Morgan, big name in broadcasting. So he had a guest on his show, and that guest made some claims against Jay-Z, and even he ended up having to apologize to Beyonce as well too. Let's take a listen to Piers Morgan's apology.
Think about platforms. The reality of the modern world is that pretty much everyone has a platform as long as there's something to say that other people want to hear. That's why we invited her on to be interviewed. The people making these claims have an audience with or without shows like mine. Unexpectedly made several serious allegations about Jay-Z and Beyonce during that interview. As I said in the moment, they were not present to respond or defend themselves, but now they have. Their lawyers contacted us to say that those claims were totally false and have no basis in fact, and we've therefore complied with the legal request to cut them from the original interview. Editing interviews is not something we do lightly at a show called Uncensored. Like the proverbial cries of fire in a crowded theatre, there are legal limits on us too, and we apologise to Jay-Z and Beyonce.
Now, I want to point out a couple things. So first of all, he says that these people that he has on his platform, and this conversation was in relation to a lot of the coverage that different outlets are doing on the Diddy accusations, right?
Right.
He says these people have platforms with or without shows like mine. I will just say though, I know now because anybody can get on TikTok, YouTube, wherever and have conversations and allege things or whatever. I think people think throwing the word allegedly out there protects you from certain things. But just because someone has a platform, I think broadcasters and certain journalists and people are put on certain shows and just platformed a little bit differently than these people who are just on YouTube or whatever for a reason, and there's a responsibility.
Well, you
got to
do your due diligence, and his team should have did the due diligence. And a lot of times, people do slip through the cracks. There's things that you don't see and don't find out until later on. But I mean, when people are making claims like the way people are making claims, you have to do your due diligence to make sure that if you're having that person on your platform, which is a huge platform, that you're putting out the proper and correct news.
Well, the problem is people don't understand platforms, and I'm putting platforms in parentheses, like
quotations. You mean?
What? Yeah,
you said parentheses.
Yeah, quotations.
This is parentheses.
Yeah, quotations.
That.
You threw up Crip sign just now. And I don't know why. That was wild weird. But anyway, you can't sue YouTube. You can't sue
Which is crazy.
You can't sue any of the social media platforms. But when you get on an actual network, when you get on a TV station or the radio, when you get on a platform that is attached to a larger corporation, now that corporation is liable for the things that are being said on their platform.
Right.
And now it makes sense for your lawyer to intervene and potentially sue because there is something to gain.
Right.
There's nothing to gain from suing Joe Blow on YouTube that's just running his mouth.
True.
You know what I mean?
And that's what most people don't understand. A lot of these people that do these claims and do these accusations and do these things on that platform don't have anything. It'll cost you more money to sue them than they actually own. Now, it might look like they have this and have that, but most of that stuff is all false. They don't own half the stuff that they say. They don't have cars. They don't have bank accounts. They don't have homes. So it's half the time it don't make any sense suing those people.
Well, let me tell you who got the money to see if they, even if it don't make sense, a Jay-Z and a Beyonce. Those are, I think that's another thing too, is you got to understand that there's levels to this, who you're dealing with. And people will defend their names because that is their business. That is how they make their money.
But think about how much stuff Jay-Z and Beyonce ignore.
Yeah.
The reason they didn't ignore it this time is because of the platform it was set on.
100%.
It was set on a platform that they can actually sue, a platform that is actually liable.
Yep.
And I see people say things all the time like, well, if the person is lying, why don't they get sued? Because suing a brokey costs you money. Suing somebody who don't have anything to lose is a waste of your time and resources.
Your money and your resources and your time.
I'm just saying, don't matter unless you just, whatever, man.
Well, speaking of platforms, Ray J just created a new platform. It's called The Reality Check with or a new show called The Reality Check with Ray J. And he wanted to have a conversation just about a lot of the jokes and the different claims that are out there right now around the Diddy conversation. Let's take a listen to Ray J.
Let's get into the Diddy situation. Nobody knows what to do. Nobody's saying nothing. I know I did the first interview on News Nation, and now I see a whole lot of interviews coming after. Are you guys waiting for somebody to be the front runner to speak out and to say what they feel? Because I'm not scared. Are there really tapes? Are a lot of people being implemented into this crazy criminal investigation that's going on right now? How many people are in it? How many celebrities are involved in what they're saying? Do you forgive somebody for taking somebody's ass? There's a lot of people out here taking from people. They're getting robbed of their womanhood and manhood. Asses are being taken in ways that nobody can explain. Because I see a lot of jokes out there right now talking about baby oil. Is that okay? Is that the message? Ha 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 ha. That was funny, fam. Now what? I don't use baby oil.
Dropping a clue bomb for Ray J. Why?
He then talked about how I guess he needed to fact check that. He said lube does work.
Ray J is crazy.
Yeah, I think, but though he was trying to have a bigger conversation, even though he's funny. Yeah, when I listened to the full, the bigger conversation he was trying to have. He just basically was saying, I know Charlamagne, you said this before too. Like there should be not about the. Not that. You looked at him crazy when I said that. That there should be people in place that as people are coming up, you get money, you get power. There should be like mentors, somebody that's going to wrap their arm around you and be like.
Friends?
Real
friends?
Even
say, sit your stupid ass
people
down.
That are like, you know,
don't hire male sex workers.
All
hey,
that.
Don't be recording your freak offs. Hey, maybe y'all shouldn't be doing so much drugs. Like,
yeah. Friends. How many of us have them? It's basically what his larger conversation was outside of, you know, baby oil and debunking that lube don't work.
It's hard for people to say that when, you know, I thought Ray J was Diddy's friend at one time. I thought they were hanging out with each other. They were on a jet with each other.
He mentions that he never said
one of the friends.
He never said Diddy wasn't his friend in this.
Okay.
He said was Diddy my friend? Was like he kind of makes it a point to say they may still be friends, but he's going to tell the truth about what was going on or just how he felt about what was going on.
Can we go back to something we were talking about earlier though? Because I just think this is a very important point.
Lube?
No.
Oh.
Talk about the people that be running their mouth on social media and stuff.
Correct.
A lot of these people talking crazy just aren't worth suing. And I just want to stress that suing a multi-million-dollar corporation makes sense for a multi-millionaire. Suing some random on a YouTube page does not. But trust and believe, those folks can and will get sued too. So you really have to watch yourself on these platforms unless you got money for a lawyer, unless you got money and assets to give up when you lose these lawsuits, because you will. And I just want to stress to everybody, there is no such thing as free speech. That is the biggest crock malarkey that this country has ever told us. There is no such thing as free speech. There is a cost to every word that comes out of your mouth. Are you willing to pay the price?
Go off, Uncle Charlotte.
I'm just saying.
Facts.
Are you willing to pay the price?
I agree.
And by the way,
what he's saying is the complete, absolute truth. Like he said, there's people out there, and don't follow the trend where I'm just going to talk about people. I'm going to get my page lit, and I'm going to make all this money because, like you said,
there's no such thing as free speech.
There's no such thing as free speech.
There's a cost to every word that comes out of your mouth. Sometimes that cost is a punch in the face. Sometimes that costs is a lawsuit. Period. But there's always consequences to the words that come out of your mouth.
Correct.
Period.
So what about
and sometimes it's just energy.
What about what you be saying up here to me? Because people don't like that.
What you mean?
All the hate and the shade, the big trees you be throwing.
I never hate on you. You know that's not true.
The people be listen.
You know that's not true.
He talked about your eyelashes,
Lauren,
which is true.
He said I'll be in a fight, and he wanted to. No, I'm listening to what I hear through my headphones every single day.
You was in a fight.
You trying to tell me that left eyelash don't be kicking your ass every week,
every morning?
And you mad at me because I said something about it?
This set is different. I'm over
there watching you fight.
I'm good now. I want to fight or no? My cousins came off the porch.
You got another one. That's what that was. You put that other eyelash away and got another one. You bought a new one.
Listen, we're going to come back in the next hour. And I did one. Don't play with me. I got hands. We're going to come back in this next hour and we're going to talk a little bit more about when people allege things and what happens because there's some updates more directly in the Diddy actual legal case. So we're going to get into that as well, too.
All right. We'll get to that next. Morgan will be joining us in Front Page News. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Wake that ass up early in the morning. The Breakfast Club.